And we're live.
Wow.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
I'm back.
morning.
I'm back and I'm recharged, ready to go.
We missed you.
I missed you guys. I really did. I did tune in and watch, and it was cool to see Jay
It's not the
Guppy on
same.
here.
Not the same.
Yeah, it wasn't the same vibe,
Yeah.
Not to say that Jay Guppy isn't cool and all, but he ain't me.
He's no Bobby.
Right?
He's no Bobby, that's for sure. So anyway, what's going on, guys? Good morning.
Good morning.
What
Thank you for joining us. We were
my
nervous
pleasure.
you weren't going to make
I
it.
know. I like to keep people on the edge of their seat.
Yeah, you said you were taking a dookie.
No.
Yep.
It was your dogs that
Yep.
were taking dookies.
Yeah, all three of them. I was just
You know.
watching.
Fair enough. You got to make sure they do the business.
A mother must tend to her children.
Yep, I completely
Through
understand.
the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Em, good
Anyway.
morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back from your vacation.
Yes.
I heard it wasn't as good as it could have been,
Yeah. It was crazy.
but hey, you did get to see Blink 182 live in
Yep.
concert.
Yep.
You literally stood through a hurricane.
Yeah.
I
to watch
actually
them.
did. I actually did stand
That's
through a hurricane
crazy.
for them.
Where was it at?
Ocean City.
No mudslides there?
No,
Thank
just a lot
goodness.
of rain.
Yeah.
6 inches of water on the road.
Yeah, what a
Yeah.
bad hurricane. And just so you guys know, like, I know I've been thinking about all the people that have been affected. I know
Yeah.
some people, like, personally that have been affected, and so it's a really terrible thing.
It was
That was
horrible.
crazy.
Yeah. Definitely our prayers are with you and your family during this difficult
Yeah.
time.
For sure.
So, and Brock, how are you today?
I'm great. Everybody's excited that I have a mic this week.
Yeah, so we're missing Leather this week. We miss
Yeah,
her.
She's on her staycation, spending time with her family.
Spend time with the fam, Jay
So-
Guppy and the little Guppy girls.
Little guppy girls.
And so
Little
Brooke.
Guppy, look at it. Look at it swimming around in there.
Yeah, look at that.
Anyway,
So Brooke is filling some big shoes this week. How's it feel?
Leather doesn't have big shoes. She got small feet.
size 6. or something
You're
like that.
squeezing
It's
your
like
big feet
child-
into those little shoes.
Yeah, you and Leather have
She
a
has
lot
like
in common. in that way.
children's sized feet.
She does. She does. Well, what's going on your side of things?
You know, just Aquashella stuff.
Oh yeah, we got a lot going on.
Working with members, getting stuff for this week or this month. Thinking about what product testing we might be doing this month.
So lots of stuff going on in membership. So all of you that aren't members, make sure to sign up for the Flip Aquatics Aquarium Club.
I did get
Shameless plug inserted.
a call from Guppy Joe yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah.
I missed his call and I didn't see his voicemail until this morning, and I listened to it, and he was asking about the members fishing tours, asking if I got a chance to look through the videos, which I haven't yet. We've been really busy here. But I'm hoping to look through those soon. But it was nice to hear his voicemail. He said,
is nice.
if you
He's a
call
nice
me
guy.
back, that's awesome. If you don't get the chance to, that's awesome too.
Guppy Joe's great.
We love him.
Yeah.
Another thing, we don't want to forget this. So I know that if you're a regular watcher here, you'll know about the Will Wheel. But we do have the
Yeah.
Will Wheel. Do you want to give us a real quick lowdown of what it is?
Yeah,
And how people can participate in it?
So this is, I don't even have the link up.
And this is for only people that are watching live. So if you're watching the replay, unfortunate for you, but tune in next week, 10 a.m., and you can be a part of the Will Wheel.
Let me. So I just posted the Will link, and basically, if I just pinned it, if you've never heard of the Will Wheel, this is Will. He's he's our longest standing Crystal Club member.
He's a founding member of the Full
Yes.
Aquatics Club.
One
He's
of the
a-
founding fathers. If you
He's
One
a
of the founding fathers.
He's a good friend of
The
Rob's.
founding father.
And so basically we call it the Will Wheel because that's how Leather says it, because of her southern accent. So yeah, you just sign up through the link, fill out the information, and at the end of the live stream, Rob and Liv will play rock, paper, scissors to see who gets to
Yeah.
win, and we'll spin it.
You could win a $100 gift card.
You could.
Free shipping, all kinds of cool
All
stuff.
kinds of good
We
stuff.
need to switch it up and get some new things on there and swap some things out and just,
Yeah.
refresh it.
yeah.
But, that might be coming when we move the live stream area, do a little rebranding. So we got some cool stuff coming up for you guys. But you did say you had something cool for this morning that you wanted to kind of test out.
So this morning we thought we'd do something a little different.
Oh, you ready for this?
And we wanted to get you guys more involved and kind of hype for this week's topic.
Oh, I like that. What is the topic?
So today's topic is top 3 reasons shrimp die.
Okay.
And so I thought we'd do a little trivia
Ooh.
with our members, or not just our members, I guess everybody.
The chat?
Today's not members only chat, is it?
Nope.
So anybody in the
everyone.
chat
Got everybody up in
thought we'd do a little trivia and see
what
See
they
what
got.
the answers
see what
are.
you guys answer.
All right, what's number 1?
So-
what's the first trivia?
Our first trivia question is, what is the number 1 reason why shrimp die? So
And
what
like,
do you
give
guys
us little
think?
Jeopardy music. Like,
Yeah. Can you
Like
can you
for
sing
What
it
is
for
Jeopardy?
us?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. What do you think the number 1 reason is? Well, Em, this is actually a good question for you. So, just from your experience,
Wait,
what-
I'm answering?
yeah, why not? We might as well
I
participate.
thought that this was for the members.
Oh, it is.
I can't participate.
Yeah, you can't participate because you know.
I
like,
have the
The
answers.
official answer that we say.
The official answer.
Official. Official.
What was the question?
Number
What-
1
Can I get a
reason.
react?
Yeah. What is the number 1 reason shrimp die? We got some good answers coming in.
I'm thinking like water parameters, overfeeding.
Let's go.
Let's see what.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
Let's see what the comments are
Yeah,
saying.
what are they saying in the comments?
So, Bougie said disease, water quality, parameters. A lot of people, Braxton,
parameters.
iMac, Tank Girl, all saying water parameters. Madison said other fish.
Ooh, other fish is a good one.
That is a good one.
Madison, nice.
Everett Irby said GH and pH swinging too fast.
Okay. That, yeah.
Water
that would go along with
quality.
water parameters, I'd
He
say.
said water parameters is a cop out. Gotta be more specific.
True.
Who said that?
Everett.
Nitrate spikes. Being
good one.
snacked. Just Chris said snacked on.
Snacked on.
Um,
What is our official answer? I think it is.
What is our
our
shrimple
official what?
instead of official?
Oh,
Oh.
shrimple
Talk about
answer.
shrimp.
Our official
Forget
answer
about it.
is water parameters, and we'll get
Hey.
more into that later on. But let's get into our next question.
Yeah. Water
Good job,
parameters,
guys.
a lot of people got that. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Good job, guys.
I mean, I honestly forgot what we said was number 1. So
Yeah.
I was thinking it was water parameters too.
Rob was hoping he was right. He's like, oh,
That's funny.
The second question is, what is the hardest shrimp type to keep?
Ooh, I know this one.
All right, Emily, come
Em,
on. Come on.
what do you think?
Oh wait, I was like,
No,
is
I'm
it
asking
Jeopardy
for
music
Jeopardy.
or?
We gotta give the chat
Here,
a little bit of time.
I'll do
to,
it. I'll do it for Em because she can just guess. Like,
Yeah.
she doesn't know the actual
The
answer.
hardest?
Hardest type of shrimp to keep.
I'm really trying to think. Because I've been going through all of our shrimp listings.
What are you thinking? Come on, just throw something out there.
I'm trying to think of like a general, like a Taiwan B type. Like I'm trying to think of different types.
You could just say a type. You could say Taiwan B.
A Taiwan B.
Mm,
That is
okay.
my official answer.
I like
Taiwan
that.
B for 300.
You, what are you thinking? Or do you know the answer?
Thank you, Brooke.
I know we talked about it before.
Yeah. So, I know the thing that we have the hardest time keeping is some of the tiger variants.
Preach.
So,
What are people saying in the chat?
a lot of caridina, B caridina, saltwater shrimp.
Saltwater shrimp. I guess those are outside our realm
Yeah.
of expertise.
Bougie said, I think that one depends on the person.
Ooh, that's true too.
IMAX said a live shrimp. It's so rare and hard to find.
And unhinged.
And unhinged.
Yes.
But
Talk about a feisty
there
shrimp.
are a couple people that said the answer. I don't know how do you pronounce it?
Sulawesi shrimp.
Yes. So to the people that did say that, we got Chevy Fish was the first one to say that,
Ah, Chevy.
and Garage Gills.
Yeah. And the reason I think it's Sulawesi shrimp, granted you could get easy to keep Sulawesi shrimp, but like most of them are wild caught, and then just by the time you get them, they're just like it's hard to keep them alive. And they are the most unique as far as parameters go. So that is a really good one.
So good.
But
shout
Taiwan
out to
B
you
is
two. That's
honestly like,
awesome.
there's some Taiwan B's, there's some tiger shrimp. So yeah, it really does depend on the person. So bougie, that was a good call.
Yeah.
Bougie said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
What is the best way to acclimate your shrimp?
Is that trivia question number 3?
That is trivia question number
Best
3.
acclimation method. Yeah, that's interesting too because there's a lot of different ways you could acclimate, and probably everyone does it a little bit different. Like, do you float the bag? Do you not float the bag?
Well, everybody's saying the exact same answer.
They are.
Are they? They're pretty
Yeah.
consistent?
Not a single person.
I
has-
want you to guess what they're saying. What do you think they're saying? Everybody said the same thing.
I mean, if everyone's saying the same thing, they're probably saying drip acclimation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. That is the best, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Drip acclimation is by far the best. For
Yeah.
sure.
Awesome.
So.
Our fourth trivia question is: what is the most important parameter for your shrimp?
Ooh, this one's tough.
Ooh.
That's crazy.
That's
I don't even think there's a right answer
Yeah, I
for
think
this
that's
one.
very
Yeah,
low.
I was
Yeah.
kind of like,
Who came up with that question?
So stupid. Me? Little old me?
Little old me.
The most important water parameter.
Yeah, I was thinking either GH or PH, but we're getting a lot of GH and KH, pH.
Hardness.
All the things that end in H.
pH, ammonia,
What does the H
hardness.
stand for?
It is crazy because like all parameters are important to an extent. Like if you had
Yeah.
90-degree water, you're not going to be successful. Period.
Yeah.
And if you had 30-degree water, you're not going to be
According to
successful.
passing wind, if you don't have water at all, you're not going to be successful.
That's what I always say.
Passing Winds got it right.
Yeah.
Period.
What do you want to put in this tank? Water?
Yeah.
I think that was your first
Yeah,
response.
that
Yeah.
literally was.
And
Yep. She
Still
hasn't
true.
changed.
Still
It comes
true.
full circle.
It does.
Actually,
All right.
full
What a-
circle.
What are people saying?
Okay, so
Yeah.
a lot of GH, KH,
Are you talking about
pH.
because it's a circle.
Are you listening to what they're saying?
No,
They say
Liv's got me
GH and
distracted.
KH.
Ammonia,
Ooh,
nitrates.
ammonia nitrates. Yep.
Everett said, I want to hear what they have to say about nitrates, so we might touch on that later on once we get into the topic more. TDS, which you've talked about TDS a little bit.
TDS is very important when remineralizing water, but by itself, it isn't a very good parameter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this question's better phrased as like, what are the top 5 essential
Yeah.
Yeah.
water parameters, not necessarily most
I
important.
think GH and KH is number 1,
Yeah.
and it's a group because like if you have the right GH but the KH is off, then it means nothing. But like if you have no GH, like you're probably not ever going to be successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a tough one because pH is very important too, but GH and KH could indicate whether the pH is good. So yeah, if I had to pick, I would go with 2, and I would say GH and KH.
Awesome. We have one bonus trivia question,
Ooh.
and it is, what is DJ M's favorite shrimp?
Oh, can we guess? Can we guess?
Do I even know? I feel like it changes. Like
You gotta make sure you know.
Everybody.
We should all
right,
guess.
right now.
Wait,
as
don't
of-
say it.
don't tell
Don't
us.
say
No,
it.
I'm not saying it, but right now, as of like this month, I do have a new favorite that has been my favorite currently.
Oh, I know what it is.
I don't.
It's only because
You might not know.
I'm gonna guess it's because we've been talking about the Beetlejuice shrimp, and it's like the galaxy, black
Actually,
galaxy.
it's not.
Ooh, I'm not right.
It
okay.
does have to do with this month, though.
That's a good hint.
That's all right. I'm gonna go shutter
What do
the
you think?
cameras while you guys are thinking.
Do you gotta
I
guess?
don't know.
You're
I'm
getting all
guessing
the
Bloody
chat.
Mary.
You'd say Bloody Mary.
I don't know. Based on
My
that
second
hint.
guess would be Black Rose.
You know whose favorite the Black Rose is?
Whose? Yours?
Yeah.
Wow. You did say that yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 years
I
ago.
would also say, I think Bloody Mary for Emily.
Yeah. Well, what is the chat saying?
Chat is saying
Total pumpkin.
tiger bee shrimp, live shrimp.
Live shrimp. That's
This
her least
morning-
favorite
Come
shrimp.
on.
This morning, it wouldn't be a live shrimp.
slander.
Like me and
How
Liv
about a
are
bobby
the
shrimp?
same.
Is a bobby shrimp your favorite shrimp?
No, a bobby and a live shrimp in one tank.
Oh, God.
A lot of people are saying orange pumpkin, which I think is
Ooh.
because of
I
her
think
hint.
that, yeah.
Orange pumpkin, Taiwan bee, blue bolt. That's a good answer. Black galaxy.
That's what I was initially
A lot of
thinking.
good answers.
What is
Emily?
it? Give us the...
I've been loving the bamboo fan shrimp.
Oh, wow.
None of us would have guessed it.
So, and here's the, so it's
Talk,
one of
talk
the,
about not coming full circle, but doing a complete 180.
Wow.
because it's one of the shrimp that we're focusing on this month for short.
Man, I should have known.
And when I've been filming them, like the last couple weeks, because I filmed them a little bit last month, and I filmed them again, and I've just been really getting to see them eat and use their little fans to
Yeah.
eat, and it's just so cute. Which I used to think that they were one of the creepiest shrimp.
Yeah, I think you and I went down to catch one time. You're like, yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
what to do.
because
That thing's creepy as hell.
they literally look like giant grasshoppers when you're
Yeah.
used to seeing like little tiny things.
Yeah.
And they will like not claw you, but they'll like latch onto you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I do think that they're really cool though. I have a new
Wow.
appreciation
Wow.
for
I
them.
We-
never would have guessed that.
We wouldn't have got it right.
I wouldn't have
Yeah.
guessed
That
that.
was fun.
I really thought it was Bloody Mary because you and I have talked about Bloody
Yeah.
Marys a lot lately.
I do really like the Bloody Marys, and like the ones that we have are just so beautiful.
Yeah.
So beautiful. Yeah.
Well,
That was fun.
wraps up our trivia.
Okay,
What a-
trivia day one.
What did everyone think? We should get
Yeah.
we should get a little feedback going while we
Yeah,
start the
what do you guys
subject.
think about the trivia?
I-
Let us know.
I personally had fun with
I thought
that.
it was fun.
That was cool. That was really cool.
Madison said they are so creepy, literally disgusting.
About
What?
the bamboo shrimp.
I think bamboo shrimp are like the gentle giant.
They're so cute when they
Like
eat.
BFG,
Seriously.
big friendly giant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a bamboo
Big
shrimp.
roll doll guy, huh?
Yeah. Big what? Roll doll guy?
Roll doll. That's the author of BFG.
Yeah, we're friends, huh?
Yeah.
You actually know the author?
Yeah, Roald Dahl is like one of the most famous, notorious children's authors of all time. The Draft, the Pelly and Me, maybe.
Maybe.
Matilda. Maybe he didn't write Matilda.
Anywho. Did everyone else enjoy trivia?
I think so, yeah.
Who's the author of BFG is the next trivia question. That's fun.
Yeah, people are liking
Cool.
it.
I thought it was fun.
I enjoyed that. So that also got you guys kind of excited and warmed up for our topic. So
Yeah.
I
Why don't you kick us off?
Yeah, let's kick it off. So the topic is top 3 reasons shrimp die. So obviously we have to talk about the top 3 reasons shrimp die.
We do.
So what
Yeah.
are they, Rob?
Oh, just like that.
So this is interesting because there are so many.
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't even remember what we talked. I know obviously water parameters is number 1. I know that we talked about acclimation is number 3. And then number 2 was the source of the shrimp. And so I always do a talk on the top 10 reasons. So yeah, water
lot easier to do it
parameters,
that way.
source of the shrimp, acclimation would be like my absolute top 3. Now granted, there's a ton of reasons why shrimp die.
Do you want to elaborate on those a little more?
Yeah. So how do we want to do this? Do we just want to jump into number 1 and allow people to ask questions?
Yeah.
Okay. So water parameters. We obviously talked about the trivia questions, like what are the most important water parameters? And they're all important to an extent. But I think the first thing we should determine is like, not all shrimp are the same. So like Sulawesi shrimp require, completely different parameters than say a Taiwan bee. A Taiwan bee is completely different from a Neocaridina. So like if you want to get a cherry shrimp, you're going to have completely different water parameters than if you want to get a crystal red or a Taiwan bee or a blue bolt or whatever it is. And so the first thing is deciding what type of shrimp do I want to keep? And then from there, determining, okay, what water parameters do I actually need to be successful here?
Yeah.
And so the next thing that I always talk about is like shrimp specific soil. Like Brightwell shrimp soil we use, and it's specific for shrimp and plants. So if I was just a newbie, somebody that my young kid wants to keep shrimp, and I go to the store and they sell shrimp specific soil, I'd be like, obviously I need that.
Yeah.
And I would get home and I would use my tap water because I don't know anything. And I would fill up my tank and cycle just like I do for every other fish tank that I've maybe ever had in my life, and then put shrimp specific soil in there. But what happens is most shrimp specific soil lowers the pH and absorbs KH. So if you have tap water that has a high pH, has KH in it, you use shrimp specific soil, it's not good. You're actually going to most likely kill your shrimp. So knowing that shrimp specific soil isn't for all shrimp, it's only for a certain type of shrimp that requires a low pH. So most Caridina shrimp require low pH. Shrimp specific soil is good for them.
Sounds like maybe the top reason shrimp die is just overall lack of education, you know,
100%.
in general.
Yeah. Because doing your research is a huge part of it.
Yeah.
So like, that's where like, you know, we'll talk about like the source of the shrimp too, because that could be an issue where a lot of people fail. So like, as far as water parameters, like what actually are you looking for in water parameters? So once you decide the type of shrimp that you need, I always say the biggest thing that you could do is reach out to where you're going to get the shrimp from to find out what their water parameters are. And then from there you can match it. So like there's tap water, there's well water, there's RO water. Like tap water, you can't control the parameters. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Well water, you can't control the parameters. And both of those are going to change depending on the season.
Yeah.
And RO water is the only one that's consistent. So you can actually build the parameters that you need to match the source that you're getting them from. So water parameters are very, very, very important. And it all starts with determining the type of shrimp that you want to keep. And then that will determine the type of water parameters that you need. So as far as like important, we talked about GH and KH being like the number one most important because those pretty much control all the other ones in a sense. So like if you have no KH in your water, that means your pH is going to be lower 99% of the time. And then if your pH is lower, you don't have to be as worried about like a cycle of an aquarium because ammonia is non-lethal.
Yeah.
And so like there's a lot of things that parameters play into it, but if you're focused on the GH and KH, the rest of it will work itself out. Now, if you have the right GH and KH, but your pH is 10, obviously that's not good. If it's 9, obviously that's not good. But like if it's 8.2, you know, that's probably going to be fine, even though most people say 7.5. And so pH would be a second one that I would look at. Now, things that are non-negotiables is like, you know, if you have, we talked about ammonia. If you have ammonia in your tank, if you have a pH above 7, not good. You need to make sure your tank's cycled.
Yeah.
pH below 7, you don't have to worry about it as much because it can be present in your aquarium but not cause issues. Same thing with NO3 or NO2 and NO3. So NO3 is the last part of a cycle, and basically the organics in your aquarium get produced into NO3 and plants use NO3 to grow. So if plants are using NO3 to grow, you need some of them. You just don't want a lot. So like, what's the healthy range? We always say 40 parts per million or less is a good range. Having floating plants in your tank will help eat those up. So like, that's a whole nother discussion that we could probably bring up at some point today if we have time. And so the next thing would be like temperature, because we didn't talk about temperature. 90 degrees, as we said earlier, would be terrible. But like, what's the ideal one? 68 to 72, great. Sulawesi shrimp, like it a little bit warmer. But most things can go up to like 80 degrees and do fine.
Yeah.
But like, then you have risk of bacterial infections, so on and so forth. So like, at the end of the day, all parameters are important. They just need to be used in the right way. So like TDS, we talked about, by itself really means nothing. But if you are remineralizing water and you know that, hey, when I mix my salt into the RO water that has a TDS of 0, I need a GH of this and a KH of that. And when I get that ratio, my TDS is 200. Now, anytime you mix your salt into your water, you know 200 is what you're going for. So now TDS means a lot. And then if you know that's what your starting point is and you go to your tank and you test your TDS and it's 400, you can be like, oh, wow, like something is off.
Yeah.
And so like, I need to get that as close to 200 as possible. So like, that's when TDS makes sense. Other than that, it never makes sense. Because you could have tap water that has 0 GH and a KH of 15 and you test your TDS and it's 200 and you're like, it's 200, it's perfect for shrimp. No, it's not. And so just knowing what the parameters are and how they work, that's where it's important.
Before we move on, JD gifted 1 membership.
Aw. Thank
JD,
you, JD.
And
thank
it
you
went
so
to
much.
Chevy Fish.
Hey,
Wow.
Chevy. That's awesome.
Thank you so much.
That's really cool. And welcome to the Flip Aquatics Aquarium Club,
Yeah.
Chevy Fish. That's really
Lots
cool.
of exciting things. This is a great time to join and be a member because there's a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
Madison said 90-degree water and you got shrimp fried rice.
You got shrimp fried rice. You could.
You ain't got that.
You definitely could.
You ain't got that wrong.
So any questions as far as like the water parameter side go? Like, cause I'm more than happy to elaborate more. I just don't want to like beat a topic to death.
Yeah.
People have questions about it, or
Yeah, I guess. So that would go into like the cycling process when you're
The what?
getting
Cycling process.
cycling process.
Yeah, and we could talk a little bit about that. So like
yeah.
in a pH of less than 7, the cycle is much harder to get because there's a different type of bacteria that grows in that pH. And so the nice thing about Caridina shrimp is like you can add cycling additives. Like we use Florinbacter 1. We add it for like the first 2 weeks of keeping Caridina shrimp. And then after that, we kind of just let the cycle do its thing. So you don't have to be as stressed about it. Whereas like Neocaridina, if they have a pH of like 7.6, you want to make sure that tank's perfectly cycled before you add them in there. And the way that you do that is, one, you can pre-cycle the tank, and I'm sure you being a hobbyist can come up with a million ways to do that. But the way we do that is we use a product called Turbo Start. So Turbo Start 700 is for freshwater. It works in a pH above 7, but you have to have KH in your tank. And that's how we would make sure that there's a cycle going for Neocaridina, whereas Caridina shrimp, we're less worried about it. But we do dose the Florinbacter 1 by Brightwell.
So if you're not cycling your tank, like how does that affect the shrimp when you're adding them in?
Yeah, so we don't pre-cycle any of our tanks. We cycle them as they come in because we have such large numbers of shrimp coming in and so many tanks being filled at one time. It would just be too hard logistically to figure that out. And then we would also have to worry about cross-contamination. But on a hobbyist level, you could pre-cycle your tank, and you could do that by like putting a sponge filler in a tank that's already running, let it run for a month, and then it's pre-cycled. And then you just take that sponge filter out, put it into the tank that you're going to add shrimp to. Or you could have a live bacteria, like we use TurboStart 700, Florinbacter 1. You could do that method. Or you could do the method of setting your tank up and dosing it with ammonia. And then ammonia would start the cycling process and just maintain like 2 parts per million ammonia for a month. And then once you start seeing ammonia go to NO2 and then NO3, then you know when you're getting NO3, the cycle is complete. And then you can wait till all the ammonia's out of your tank, add the shrimp. So there's a lot of ways you could accomplish the cycle. It just depends on which way you want to do it.
So going along with cycling, we have 2 questions. By the Bylands said, how long do you cycle a new tank before putting in shrimp or snails?
So for us, we don't. If I was a hobbyist and I had unlimited time, I would say 30 days is more than enough. And the only reason I would cycle a tank for 30 days is I like seeing algae and organics growing in the tank before I actually add the shrimp. So like if I put driftwood in there, I'm getting biofilm growing. I might get a little bit of algae on the glass. I might see some like copepods swimming around. And so like I like there being life in the aquarium before I add life to the aquarium.
And that's what we did with this tank.
Yes.
We waited a while before we actually added shrimp into
100%.
it.
and then all of our shrimp had a little snack when they got in
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, we didn't have
They
to
had
feed them
lot
for
of
like a
snacks.
month,
Yeah,
maybe even longer.
yeah.
Now there's no biofilm.
And they're happy. They're breeding.
They're
There's
breeding like
Yeah.
thousands of
crazy in
shrimp
there.
in
Yeah, there's
there.
a ton of shrimp in there.
Yeah. We need to do an update on that tank too.
Yeah. We need to add some more stuff in there. Hey!
480 update coming soon.
Everett Irby asked, does active soil getting used up kill Caridina shrimp, or do they just stop breeding?
So to give you guys more feedback on that question, active soil is the shrimp specific soil that we talked about, and that's what's going to lower the pH in a tank. So if you have no KH in your tank, usually use RO water remineralized with GH only on active soil, and that's going to keep your pH usually between 5 and like 6.5. And so as far as it getting used up, it usually lasts, I mean, honestly, it could last like 6-7 years. Really, it could. We changed it out at 1.5 years just to be extra safe. If you're using active soil and you're using water that has KH in it, the active soil is going to absorb the KH, and that's going to lower your pH as it does that. But the active soil can only absorb so much KH before it,
Bless you.
Thank you.
it can only absorb so much KH before it depletes its like buffering capacity. And so if you're using RO water with GH only, it's going to last a whole lot longer. If you're using tap water that has little bit in it, or maybe even remineralized water that has a tiny bit in it, it's going to last probably like the 1.5 years, 2 years, but it will deplete quicker. And so as it depletes, your shrimp will stop breeding. You might start seeing deaths as the pH, slowly increases. Once it gets above 7, that's the point where I'd be like, hey, you really need to change it out.
How would like a hobbyist at home know when their soil's medicine?
So soil, a couple things, and this doesn't always happen. So like when soil starts deteriorating, like falling apart, it's always in little small round balls. When those balls start crumbling, that's usually when you can tell like, hey, this is probably getting bad. But sometimes it will do that because like usually there's supposed to be moisture in the bag. And if it broke its seal, like it had a little hole in it, it could dry out. And then when you add it to your tank, it might crumble. And then that crumble can still work. And so it just depends. Like if you add the soil in right away and it crumbles, then you know that it's still good.
Yeah.
It's just not ideal. But like 2 years later, if it's starting to crumble, it's getting to the point where it's going bad.
I guess I wasn't sure if it would like release anything into the water. If it's
No, it wouldn't release anything into the water.
But you might maybe see your parameters, like if you were testing for KH and all of a sudden there's always KH in your water, maybe that's a sign.
I would say the best sign to monitor whether the soil is working or not is test your pH religiously once a week.
Okay.
And if your pH is constantly sitting at 5.5, and then next month it's 5.6, next month 5.7. Once you start getting close to the 7, then you're like, ooh, man, I definitely need to get this changed. So like if you're used to seeing 5.5 and all of a sudden you're seeing 6.8, I'd be like, yeah, it's time to switch that soil out. So good question.
Awesome. Bougie asked, how do you reset a tank after disease? Which that's honestly like, that could be a whole topic in its own.
How do you reset a tank after disease? So as far as disease, I'm not sure what diseases I know of that happen in shrimp, but they're like, let me give a couple examples of the most common illnesses I see in shrimp. One is bacterial infection. Bacterial infection is easily treated by Maricin, Maricin 2. We've talked about how you dose that. If you have any questions about that, feel free to drop a comment, and we can respond after the chat. I don't want to suck up too much time on it. But bacterial infections is definitely a big one. And that's either, red spot disease or rust disease. That's, when the shrimp is really cloudy and you treat it with Maricin, that takes care of it. That will kill the cycle in your tank. You have to clean your filter real good. You don't have to do anything with the substrate. You could siphon it, but you don't have to like change out or anything like that. The other thing that we see a lot is Elobioxidae, the green fungus, which is actually a green algae, which isn't Elobioxidae. That's just what people call it. And so if you have shrimp where they hold the eggs, if you start seeing a green like hair substance, or I don't know how you would define it.
It's real like jagged and
yeah, it's kind of, it's ugly.
yeah.
The best thing to do with that is just remove the infected shrimp and then leave the rest in there. If you you can always do blackouts on the tank because it is an algae, and so it will die eventually. You could treat it. There's some things you could treat it with. The best thing to do is just remove the shrimp. I've never had a tank that like was contaminated by having one that showed signs of it. Once you pull that shrimp out, as long as it doesn't die in the aquarium, it's not going to contaminate the water. And when it dies, the only way it contaminates the water is by the shrimp eating the green fungus. So yeah, as far as like resetting your tank after a big infection, I wouldn't worry about it. If you had a bacterial infection that killed all your shrimp, I would say treating with Maricin would kill that bacteria, and then you shouldn't worry about adding more shrimp in. So hopefully that
Awesome.
answers your question.
I think we can go into talking about the source of shrimp next.
Yeah. So reason number 2 why shrimp die, and thank you for bringing that up, is the source of the shrimp. And I always start this topic by saying, like, in no way is this a reason for me to encourage you to buy from us. Like, don't take it that way. I just want you to be educated. So the source of the shrimp, it's very easy to get caught up in, like, the first thing is USA bred versus imported. Everyone's going to say imported shrimp are no good because, they have parasites, they have diseases, they have all these things, all these issues. The risk of eating imported shrimp, not good. I agree. an imported shrimp comes in unhealthy 99% of the time when it's a neocaridina. And the USA bred side is better in the sense of like it isn't going to have diseases, it isn't going to have parasites. But who's to say that there aren't people selling imported shrimp as USA bred shrimp? That's the point that's hard.
Yeah.
And even let's say they are USA bred shrimp. The downside to them is they're much smaller. They're potentially interbred, so like they might not have good quality. They might not breed very good. And you know, again, the person might be completely false or lying about them actually being USA bred. So like, what's to say that, you know, you get on eBay and there's all these USA bred sellers? What's to say that it's not somebody just importing shrimp and selling them?
Yeah.
You don't know. And so like the source of the shrimp is a really tough subject because like you need to really trust the person you're getting them from. And so for me, I always like reach out to the people and get the water parameters. Like, hey, how are you keeping these? How are you breeding them? You know, any feedback you can get. And they should be able to tell you like, hey, this is the tank setup we use. We use matin filters. We use this as our substrate. We feed them this. This is our water parameters we use. It's tap water. It's RO water. We remineralize with this. They're willing to give you that information because they want you to be successful. If they're not willing to give you that information, that's not someone you want to work with. And so for us, we import because we sell so many shrimp. There's no way that we could breed that many shrimp, even though I would like to.
That'd be great. But
Now, that moves into like knowing the difference. So like imported shrimp, I said, come in. They're not healthy as far as neocaridina go. Caridina, come in fine. I wouldn't worry about them. There's rarely any issues with caridina.
yeah.
Neocaridina, parasites, bacterial infections galore, not healthy. Members only video coming out this week is going to be about our import process because we got a huge import in. You guys can see some behind the scenes stuff is what goes into that.
Yeah.
But like there's a reason that we do a 30-day quarantine process. And the number one reason is to make sure that the shrimp molts and it's healthy 30 days later. The number two reason is we don't want any parasites, any diseases getting through our process.
Yeah.
And so we want to give you peace of mind at home. You can buy with confidence and you know you're getting what you paid for and you don't have to stress about it. Do I think quarantining your livestock is important when you get it? Absolutely. I still think you should do that when you get it from us because we're human. There is human error. Sometimes things slip through even though we don't want to admit it all the time. But we do the absolute best that we can, and I know that as far as imported shrimp, there's nobody giving better quality than we are.
Yeah.
For sure, I can stand behind that. And so with that being said, I think a 30-day quarantine process is so important. So if you're going to buy imported shrimp and the person you're buying them from isn't holding those shrimp for 30 days, I would say stay clear because they don't care about the animal.
Yeah.
If you care about a shrimp's life, you would never sell it within 30 days of getting it because that thing will try to molt again, and it's already molded early when it was shipped to you the first time. And so if you're not letting it get stable for 30 days and making sure it molts 30 days later before you sell it, you don't care about the animal, in my personal opinion. And I firmly believe that. And so the source of the shrimp is so important. So finding either good hobbyist breeders local to you that you can go to their house, see what they're doing, they can, you know, trade shrimp, you can trade shrimp back, or going online and finding a reputable place to get shrimp from, that's the only way that I would go. Even going to your pet store, like if they're bringing shrimp in, now, could they be bringing really healthy shrimp in? Sure. But like, where are they getting them from? Most likely they're getting them from these big distributors that are importing them. So like if you go to your store and local pet store and you're getting shrimp just out of their tank, odds are that shrimp is not going to do well for you.
Yeah.
But depending on how they do it, if they trade, if they are buying from hobbyists, there's a chance that you could be successful. So like just doing your research, knowing what you're getting, what parameters they need to be kept in, that's how you're going to be successful.
Yeah, I think that's a big theme and moral of like all of this is like just research.
Ask questions.
Yeah, don't just take things at face value. Don't make
Yeah.
assumptions.
I was going to say, I think
Ask
it's so
questions.
easy, even just like in the perspective of any consumer, if you see the cheapest option or just the first option, you're like, oh, great, this is so cheap. But is it holding up to the value, or
Yeah,
is
and-
it worth
Well,
it not lasting?
Yeah.
Or,
I think that's a phenomenal
Is it
point that you
ethical?
just brought up. Is what is the most expensive shrimp?
oh,
and this is it's simpler than you think this is.
It's the easiest, the simplest.
The most expensive shrimp that you can get is a dead shrimp. So if you go and you're bargain hunting and you're like, man, I can get cherry shrimp off eBay for $2 a piece, shipped to my door. Or I can go to Flip Aquatics and they're, $35 for 10, and then I have to pay $15 shipping and this, that, and the other. Like, yeah, if you're going by like just straight dollars, you can find cheaper places than Flip Aquatics. Absolutely. But what are you getting? Because if you get 10 neon tetras from a place and then all of them die, well, now you have nothing and you paid that money. That's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Or you can get them from a place like Flip Aquatics where we guarantee the health of them. We cover them 100%. And then you get them and you have 10 alive. Yeah, you paid a little bit more for them. But at the end of the day, you have 10 fish versus 0.
Well,
or 10
so
shrimp versus 0.
If you're buying shrimp or fish that are sick or unhealthy or are going to die and you keep replacing them, that gets like actually physically expensive. And also treating them.
Paying for medicine.
Yeah.
Or the risk factor of introducing an unhealthy fish into your tank.
Yeah.
100%.
And then, yeah. So, just something to keep in mind. There aren't really a lot of questions, but someone commented their YouTube name is Katester.
Katester?
Katester.
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 And she said it's obvious how much Flip cares about the animals, and I absolutely love it. So important and unfortunately rare these days.
Aw, well, thank you. Yeah, that's our big thing, and we always want to set the standard. That's why it's our slogan: setting the standard for animal care.
Yeah.
We care so much about the animals because it is a living pet,
Yeah.
and I think and even in like the dog, cat world, reptile world, like there's a lot of places that are just like burn and turn, commodity, make money, down to the dollar. If a dog's sick and it only costs this much and it would cost this much money to get that dog healthy, euthanize it. And that is a terrible, terrible mentality to have. We'll sit on fish or shrimp for 120 days, 150 days. Like we'll have tanks of fish that we've had for 4 months, and we haven't even sold out of them yet because like they have to be healthy before we feel comfortable selling them. And so like again, this isn't to like brag on Flip Aquatics. It's just to be transparent in how we feel about something. So thank you so much for recognizing that because we do genuinely care.
Really nice comment. And also, I think I had something to say, and now I literally just left my head.
Hey,
When it
happens to
comes
me all the time.
When it comes to like mammals, it's easy for people to be like, oh, I'm so anti-puppy mill. I'm so anti-big breeding facility for mammals, which I am. I hate puppy mills.
100%.
Check my Google Drive. I've got like 8 presentations on them that I've done over the years. But like, you don't hear the same thing about aquatics and this hobby. It's just like,
Yeah, like
whatever
you
happens,
like
happens.
after this YouTube like dumpster diving for fish, and you'll see so many videos of people that dumpster dive Petco's, PetSmarts, Pet Supplies Plus, whatever, and they find all these live fish in bags in trash cans. And it's like, what? Like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
No, granted, like, in no way am I smash talking any of those places, but,
Right.
like, if you're an establishment that does that, like, watch out because, like, that's terrible, and, like, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But hate
Before we move on to the next question, JD gifted another membership. And it went to Katester.
No way!
Yeah.
Katester getting a membership. Welcome to the Aquarium
Yes.
Club. That's
Thank
awesome.
you.
And they said JD said they could Katester could participate in the auction on October 14th. And Just Chris said at 4 p.m. So let's clear that up.
Yes, so that
before-
you guys know, we haven't officially set the time yet and
Correct.
started promoting it, but we're pretty sure it's going to happen at 2 p.m. Eastern time. Is that right?
Yes.
'Kay.
So I just don't want people to get confused because there have been some
Yeah.
jokes in the Discord, which,
Yeah, there's some false information out there
heated.
to
People
try
are trying
to
trick each
yeah,
other.
people are trying to
Yeah.
trick each other so that they don't show up on time so that they can win auctions. If you guys want information on auctions, make sure you hear directly from Flip Aquatics. And
Our
and
members are spreading fake
for
news.
all of you
we
members,
love you guys. But
just remember, this is a fun thing that we do. Make sure we want everyone to be there. And so if you do joke, make sure people know that you're joking by the end of it. Don't actually let them believe it's the wrong time, because that's not a nice, kind thing to do.
Yeah, bring the heat and start talking smack on auction day.
Yes.
Yes. There
But
we
we
go.
won't see everybody there.
We do just want you guys to know that we are pretty sure it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but we will make an official announcement from, our YouTube channel and in the Discord and everything. So you guys will definitely know when it's going to be.
Yep.
Quick question before we move on is Jason GT asked, are you guys going to Aquashella in Daytona next month?
We are.
Heck yeah.
We actually have a whole planning meeting after this that we're going to kind of iron out some of the details, make sure we're getting closer to the finish line. But we will for sure be there.
And we'll have a booth.
We will have a booth.
The
We'll be doing
Flippin' Dream Team.
the Flippin' Dream Team will be there. We're going to be doing the creator contest again.
Yep.
The shrimp contest again. We're going to be doing
Which shrimp contest is open.
It is open for
Yes.
registration. AmericanShrimpContest.com. And that is not something that we make money off of. So I do encourage you guys to go participate, be a part of it. It's a really fun way to grow the hobby and encourage people to join the shrimp hobby while they're at the show and getting inspired. And so a lot of good things going on. Daytona coming up November 2nd and the 3rd, I think, or 3rd and 4th. It's a Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday,
So first
Sunday,
weekend in November. Come on down to Daytona, spend some time on the beach, see us at Aquashella.
There could be an opportunity to enjoy some coffee with Flip in person.
Yeah.
There
Haven't
will
figured out the
definitely
logistics
there
of
will
that,
definitely
but
be opportunities for that.
For sure.
And,
So-
yeah, a lot more to come with Daytona Aquashella in the coming weeks.
Well, it is 10:47.
Well, let's at least go over acclimation, because we didn't even get a
Okay.
chance to talk about it.
Yeah.
We did talk in the trivia that acclimation, drip acclimation is the number one thing. And so, couple things. Number one, shipping is stressful.
No matter what.
No matter what. So if you have a friend that breeds shrimp down the street and you get shrimp from them, that's a whole lot easier, and I would encourage you to do that, because I think it's great to support one another, and I think it's great to support locals and all that stuff. If you don't have an option to get a certain type of shrimp that you want, that's when I would go online. So if you go online and you purchase, you're going to get something shipped to your house. And that, no matter what, that process is stressful. We make it as least stressful as it possibly can be, and we've refined our process through 10 years of experience. And so I think our process is about as good as it can be. I mean, there's always improvement, but it's as good as we can make it in the moment.
Yeah.
And so with that being said, shipping is stressful, so know that the animal is going to be stressed out. It's normal to lose shrimp within the first 30 days of getting them. Obviously, you don't want to lose all of them, but if you lose 1 out of 12, it's normal. Don't stress. If you lose 2 out of 12, don't stress. If you lose 6 out of 12, probably start stressing.
Yeah, something's wrong.
And reach out to us. We'll help you through that process. But anyway, shipping is stressful. One thing to know is fish, animals, shrimp, whatever, poop in the bag during shipping. No matter what we do, there's going to be some poop. There's going to be some ammonia in the bag. So when you get that bag, know that there's ammonia in there. If there's a bunch of dead shrimp in the bag, your goal is to get them out of the bag as quick as possible. We use ACCR by Fritz or Shrimp Prep by Brightwell to neutralize ammonia during the acclimation process, so you can drip acclimate them. But a couple things to know is drip acclimation is really good if you don't know the parameters of where you're getting them from. Drip acclimation is almost vital then. If you know the parameters of where you're getting them from and you match them, drip acclimation is less necessary to almost where you could just put them directly in the tank, because you know your parameters are closed. It gets them out of their toxic water sooner. And so us, when we acclimate our shrimp, we float them for 30 minutes, cut the bag and put them right in. And we've refined our process, and that's what works best for us. Now, if we were unsure of the parameters, 100% we would drip acclimate them, give them time to adjust. But ours come in with so much ammonia in the bag, you open the bag and it just reeks. And so one thing that we do is we ship with breather bags, which breather bags are an equal exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So you don't have to worry about ammonia as much, because if there was tons of ammonia in the bag, all the shrimp would be dead. Whereas if you ship in a bag with air in it, now ammonia is not lethal, because most likely the pH is dropped. There's oxygen in there and there's a reason that makes the pH low. And so when you get a bag that has air in it and it's not a breather bag, you open that up, and if it stinks, Your goal is to get them out of that water as soon as possible, dose it with ACCR, do whatever you need to do. But with our breather bags, if you get them, there's no deaths in the bag, they can literally stay in that bag for a week, 2 weeks. Like, it's ridiculous how long they can actually live in a bag.
Yeah.
And so acclimation, slow and steady. If there's no deaths, is good. If it doesn't stink, the water doesn't smell like ammonia, you're good. If you have deaths, the biggest thing you could do is get them out of that tank as soon as possible, or get them out of that water as soon as possible. Use ACCR, do whatever you need to do, get them into the tank. The number one reason that shrimp die during shipping or during the acclimation process, to be more specific, is because of temperature changes. If it's midwinter, you get a bag, odds are that bag's going to come in as 50 degrees. If you cut those shrimp and you put them into 70-degree water, they're all going to die. So the best thing you could do is float that bag for 30 minutes regardless of what's going on, just to get the temperature right. And so temperature is a huge factor when acclimating, so just something to watch out for. And if you guys have questions, Brooke could be recording questions so that we can get into those next week, because I know we're nearing the end of the live stream. We want to do the will wheel, but that at least touches on the 3 main topics that we wanted to talk about, which is water parameters, source of the shrimp, and acclimation. And so hopefully you guys were able to get a lot out of today.
Yeah.
And I know that we probably wanted to go way deeper than what we were able to. I'm sure you had way more questions than what we actually addressed, but I think it's just a big topic, and we can always circle back, you know, on Discord. If you guys want to join us on Discord, I know we can answer some questions there.
Yeah, I did just make a new channel that it's under the topic Coffee with Flip, and it just says, it's called Dive Deeper, and you guys can go in there if you want to keep talking about the topic today. You guys can go in there, ask questions, and then our Discord members and us could pop in and answer some of your guys' questions.
Perfect.
Before we move on to the Will Wheel, I thought it would be kind of fun. Today is Jennifer Linkis's birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Jennifer.
So I just wanted to...
You wanted to sing happy birthday?
Me?
All
Yeah.
on your own.
No.
You are so great.
No.
But I just thought we could shout out her birthday. So happy birthday,
Yeah.
Jennifer Linkis.
Happy birthday.
I hope
Happy
you have a great
birthday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, what a great day for a birthday. Coffee with Flip Day.
Coffee with Flip Day.
Couldn't be
So,
any better.
Happy
Hey.
birthday.
Actually, Jennifer Linkis's birthday is my 1-year anniversary at Flip Aquatics.
Today is your
Wow.
1-year
It's my 1-year
anniversary.
anniversary.
What? Didn't think
Happy
you'd make it
1
this
Whole
year.
far.
year of these shenanigans. I didn't either.
What in the world?
Yeah, who
But
would've
I'm
thought?
glad you're here. That's awesome. Well, happy 1 year.
And happy birthday, Jennifer.
And happy birthday. And
Monumental day.
Yeah.
Tank Girl said that she's going to be in Daytona.
Good.
Nice.
So she's super excited.
Anyone that's coming to Daytona, please reach out to us and let us know.
Yeah.
Specifically, probably in Discord so that we know about it.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going to do a poll, but like we want to know who's all coming so we can kind of
Yeah.
maybe plan a meetup. Again,
Yeah.
we need to figure out the details of that. But we'll definitely do something fun for all of the Flip Aquatics
The Flip
family
fam,
that's coming.
yeah.
Yes. And also, if you're not able to come to a hangout and you just are at the show, obviously, swing on by.
Oh, for sure.
Say hi to say hi to us. But if you guys haven't signed up for the Will Wheel yet, you guys got
Do it now.
do it now.
Right
Do
now.
it now.
Right now.
Yeah, and so one thing that I thought about is Dive Deeper, the section on the Discord where they can ask questions. That's a good place to put all the questions that we didn't get to today, too. And then what we could do is we can cycle through those and use them as trivia questions for next week, potentially.
Potentially.
Could work.
So, just kind of fun thing.
Awesome.
Maybe our bonus question can be a question that somebody asked there. And it's like, hey, this question was by JD,
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So, hey, we're experimenting with some things. Guys, definitely let us know your feedback because we want to make sure that Wednesday Coffee with Flip is just as fun for us as it is for you. Or
Yeah.
vice versa.
The goal is that it's just a good time. That get
And
something
we all
out of it.
learn something.
Yeah, I think today's topic was good because I know we have
I
a
think
lot
it
of
was
our
good.
members. I think have just gotten into the shrimp side of things. You know, they've kept fish for a long time. That's how they got introduced to us, and they've been inspired to start on the shrimp. And I know some of them have had great success. Some of them have had more struggles than others. So hopefully this helps give some more context, more information on what you might want to look at if you are gonna
Yeah.
either continue on the shrimp journey or start it for the first time.
Yeah. Love
All
it.
right. So
Well, we ready to
we're
do
ready.
the wheel?
Let's do it.
You got beat last week in rock, paper, scissors.
We don't. Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I was very disappointed in you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, she beats
Me
me,
too.
but she couldn't beat Cody?
I thought he had boy brain. I thought he was going to go rock.
But he went scissors and cut you up.
I got
Well, let's
cut.
pick our numbers.
Yep, what's the numbers?
So the numbers are 585 to 609.
601.
609. 605.
Okay. You are J. Lou.
Always J. Lou.
I feel like you are always J.
J-Lou's
Lou.
my spirit animal.
Is he still in? Is he still listening? I haven't seen him in
And
the
you
chat for
are
a minute.
Katester.
Catester.
Hey, Katester!
Awesome.
Catester's Day.
That's awesome.
is. Her
Membership, a
day.
chance at the wheel.
That's awesome. J-Lou
All
versus
right.
Katester.
Yeah.
J. Lou and
You
Katester.
freaking ready for this?
I'm going to try to be. All right. Ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh.
Got her!
Kate, I'm sorry.
Got her!
J. Lou.
J-Lou taking out
J-Lou women.
Katester.
Wow.
You know, I was rooting for Katester, even though I wanted to win.
How fun.
That is awesome. So J-Lou takes it down. So let's do a little spin wheel.
Yeah. This isn't the first
Ready?
losing streak I've had. I can come back from this.
Whoops.
Ooh.
Will, what will you give us today?
Well,
25
memberships.
That's crazy.
Memberships for everybody. And then
Just
do we
in
also owe the
time.
people any more memberships today from Paul?
We do, but he said to just keep spreading them out. So if we're already giving away 25, we'll do more next week.
Sure.
So let me see if I can do the one tap here. And that's crazy. You guys.
Wow.
And so that's awesome. So J. Lou, thank you for winning the membership.
J. Lou, we love you.
We do.
We do.
We do. We love
a
us some
guy.
J. Lou.
We do.
We do.
We do.
And what will these 25 members get? Because this
Brooke?
month we have the live auction, and what other goodies do they get, Brooke?
Tell us, Mama Lainey.
What? If you are a member, you get access to all of our members only videos. So make sure you go back and watch all of those. We have some really fun ones. We do our live auction, which will be on October 14th. We're going to start doing members fish room tours. So this month is going to be Guppy Joe. I have to go through
Hey.
those. So we're going to do a live stream watching Guppy Joe's video, giving us a tour of his fish room. If you're a Crystal or Core Club, well, Crystal Club is guaranteed a product testing each month. Core Club, it's like the first, like certain number. It depends on the product, but it's whoever gets to it first, and we pick the first. You know, this month we did, or last month we did the first 6. What else do we get? Monthly.
Get a flip with quip? Get a quip with
what?
flip?
Yes, get a quip with flip. We do monthly discount codes. Last month's Get a Quip with Flip was with our Braxton.
Braxton.
and
Yeah,
I
Braxton.
were
Shout
on
out to
there.
you.
Yes, Braxton.
Frogs and Fish, thank you so much for
yeah, it
doing
was
that.
awesome.
I haven't had a chance to fully watch it yet, but I really appreciate
It was
you
so
doing
fun.
it. Yeah, I can't wait to get my frog enclosure set up.
Yeah, it was awesome
big
because
as I
you could
can.
hear like the frogs chirping in the back, and it was
That's
just
cool.
like great background noise.
Side note, I had a dream that I went to Braxton's house, and he had the most impressive fish room that I've ever seen. I'm like, bro, you spend like millions of dollars on this. He's like, yeah. I'm like, that's so cool. I don't know why I had that dream, but definitely had that dream. That Braxton was like the most humble guy ever, but had like a multi-million-dollar fish room.
It's giving Jason talking about how he had a dream about going to Big Rich's house at Aquashella. Do you remember that?
Oh,
I was
that's
just
hilarious.
editing that footage the other day, and it was
Oh my
cracking me
gosh.
up.
Do
That
we
seems
want
like a
to
lifetime ago.
shout out the members that just joined from the Gifted?
Yeah, give us some shout-outs.
All right.
5 of
So
them.
we got Anna Banana,
Hey.
Mary Oliver, Wolf HVAC, Paul Johnson, Bob Manel, Kyle the Fountain, which we've seen Kyle in our chats quite a lot. I don't know how you say that. STEXZ. Stex.
Hard to say.
Uh,
We'll move on.
Brian D. April Thompson. Hip Hop Hillbilly.
Hip Hop Hillbilly! That's a cool name.
I love
like
it. Mike Douglas. David Riley. David Sandoval. Paul Harris. Jim Fish.
Okay.
Shrimple.
Interesting.
Shrimple.
Shrimple?
That's the best name I've ever heard.
I love that name.
By far.
Angel Flores, Johnny Best, Don G, Philippa Gladstone, Mitch.
Let's go, Mitch.
Let's go, Mitch.
Short and simple.
GB from Tennessee.
Okay.
GB from Tennessee. That's kind of a cool
Love
name.
it. Chris Davey, Potato Man. That's the best name I've ever heard.
That is a
Andy?
good one.
Is my boyfriend in the chat?
Is that what he goes by? Potato Man?
It might
Love
be.
That is hilarious if
No.
that's him in chat.
It's
and we
giving
can't
Bob
remember.
the Builder, but Andy the Potato Man.
So, thanks for gifting our membership.
Yeah,
And
thank you, Jay Lou.
welcome to the membership. Yeah, thanks, J. Lou.
That's awesome.
Matt, quick. Braxton's Maddie said, OMG, I wish Brax was on. He's on a water rescue at work.
Bless you.
But,
He's
like
on
about
what
your
rescue?
dream. He's on a water rescue
He's a
at work.
firefighter. You go,
So-
Braxton. Just save them
Yeah,
lives.
you go, Braxton.
Yeah, you go, boy.
I trust him to pull me out of a burning building.
Okay.
All right,
Rough.
and with that,
God bless.
God bless. We'll catch up. No, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Brooke, thank you so much for filling in for old Leather. And it was some small shoes to fill.
For
but
old
you
Leather.
got, yeah, she old, not old, old
But you were able to
Leather.
squeeze those size 9.5s into them.
Yep, you did it.
9.5.
I don't know.
And Liv, thanks for actually coming today.
I'm here every single week. Like literally every week
Thanks
I'm
for actually
right here.
showing up.
Thanks for actually showing up. We
It's my
appreciate
pleasure.
it. There's nobody I'd rather trust the camera work than you. And thank you for the sound effects too.
And then next week we'll finally have the Flip Fam
Back together
back
again.
together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Back together
We'll be
again.
back.
Here.
Yep,
Be great.
God willing. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hopefully you got something out of today's talk. And we'll tune in, or we'll be here next week for another good episode of Coffee with Flip. We'll do some trivia, stuff like that. And hopefully you guys have a great week. As always, God bless. Catch you guys on the flip side.